Wow, I've got a lot to share with you today. So first up, we've received a Moveover offer for our Viking River cruise. So I'm going to let you know what those Moveover offers look like and whether or not we're going to take it. Big update, big change the TSA is making here in the United States. That's the Transportation Security Administration. Changes as you go through security before you get on a flight. We'll also be talking about an itinerary change that impacts our group cruise that we are doing, sailing July 4th, 2026 on Holland America. I've got extra information for you about that. And finally, what's going on with the Celebrity Infinity? Lots to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Thursday. It is July 10th of 2025. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, today's the day. Please click on that subscribe button. And if you appreciate my updates, please give this video a thumbs up. We are going to take you with us. We're leaving tomorrow. And so get ready to travel and have a fun time and go along with us and see how things go. So first up, we are sailing on the Viking sign, S-I-G-Y-N. If I pronounced that wrong, so sorry. We set sail on July 15th. We'll be going from Amsterdam down to Basel, Switzerland. And we this morning, received a Moveover offer. So first up, what does the Moveover offer look like? And by the way, today is the 10th, and we're leaving the 11th. The ship sails the 15th. So that kind of gives you an idea of how close to sailing they give the Moveover offers. So first up, you get a 100% refund of your cruise fare. Whatever you've paid, you get that back. And I will remind you that you're not going to get your insurance money back. With Viking, once you pay for your insurance, you're not going to get that part of the money back. Okay, just a heads up on that. We get to have a complimentary cruise fare on our new voyage, which needs to be the same voyage that we are doing already. So ours is called the Rhine Getaway. We've already done the Danube. We're doing the Danube again in December. So we thought it was time to do the Rhine. And so that's what ours is called. So we will have to do a Rhine Getaway cruise either in 2025 or 2026. That's what the rules are. And then we also get a complimentary category upgrade. So based on what the category we have now, the next one would be a veranda suite. And I kind of booked this kind of late. I booked it in January or February. I can't remember. And so we were just kind of left with what was left. We have a regular veranda cabin. But anyway, and then if you had already booked your air with Viking Cruise Line, they'll rebook your air with no additional charges. They'll let you cancel, and then they'll rebook it for you when it's time for you to go on your cruise. I did look and see what cruises were left for 2025 and then started looking at 2026. We decided not to take the Moveover offer because that river cruise is part of a trip that we plan to go for something before it, to extend and do some things after it. And I looked at what cruises are available. There's not very many Rhine Getaway cruises left in 2025. And we just already have other things planned. So we decided to go ahead and take the trip that we are going to take. If Gordon was retired and things were a little bit, more flexible that way, we maybe would have taken it, but we need to come back on time so that we can go on our next trip on time so Gordon can be to work. So we are not going to accept that Moveover offer, but I am really sure that some people are going to do that have a little bit more flexibility. I will add, one thing that's really interesting to me with Viking, when they set out this offer, they give one person's phone number to call with your questions or if you want to accept it. That's really different. The bigger cruise lines, you end up getting, you call Princess and they'll take care of it for you. So this morning I had questions about it, was going to ask about, one of the sailings, see if we could get on it. I still don't have a call back. I had to leave a voicemail. And so we just decided to go ahead and stick with what we've got because we'd have to start rearranging air and hotels. So we're just going to keep what we've got. Really big change with the TSA. So here in the United States, if you're not familiar, if you don't live in the United States, the TSA is who sets the rules for what travelers need to do. And part of what they manage is what the rules are as you go through security at an airport to get on a flight. The big change, and I am really wondering if more changes are coming, and I'll tell you why. The big change that they are currently making is that when you go through security, you don't have to remove your shoes. Now, if you have TSA pre-check, you already don't have to remove your shoes. In TSA PreCheck, I have seen people have to remove their shoes if they keep going through the security thing and it keeps beeping, then they'll have them take their shoes off. But just as a normal practice, no longer are they going to require people just going through security to have to remove their shoes. So let me know in the comments if you've been waiting for this, if you think it is going to impact security of travelers with making this change. You might remember that I let you know, I think it was on Monday, early this week, that in Edinburgh, Scotland, at that international airport, they are no longer going to regulate the liquids that people take through security with them to have on board with them. So, forever we've had that rule that you couldn't have your container, over a certain size. It had to be in the bag, all of these requirements. That's going to be gone. So I wonder if we are going to see that come in the United States. In my mind, I had connected that happening with 9/11. We happened to have to fly to Washington, D.C. 2 weeks after 9/11. And boy, did they regulate everything you could take on the plane with you. Those were really different days. One of our Let's Go family members reminded us that they made the liquid rule a little bit later, but it's been a while now. It's been almost 20 years that they have had these tighter requirements. Now, next up, let's talk about what Holland America is doing. Now, a little bit of me is a little bit disappointed in Holland America with this, and I'll tell you about that, but let me tell you the change first. So we've got our group cruise, and we're going to have a grand time. It is a special July 4th sailing round trip from Boston on Holland America Zuiderdam, and they are doing all of the special things celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States of America. So like I said, we've got the round trip Boston, we've got an overnight in New York. I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but they have changed the itinerary a little bit. So first off, we are no longer going to go to Philadelphia. Now, when you go to Philadelphia, you can see things like Independence Hall there. You can go see the Liberty Bell, this kind of thing. And it's wonderful to see. I've been there a couple of times, had the pleasure of seeing that and a lot of the other historical sites right around there. Instead of going to Philadelphia, we are now going to be going to Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk, Virginia is amazing as well. It is the jumping off point there. You can go and see where things were for like the Battle of Yorktown. You can go see Colonial Williamsburg. There's Jamestown. There are so many things to get to see there that it's still going to be fantastic. I'm going to miss Philadelphia, but I'm not disappointed. We've also been to Jamestown, and we went to see where the Battle of Yorktown was and the Colonial Williamsburg. It is all definitely worth a visit. And so it's not like you're suddenly going anywhere that doesn't have any historical importance. It has it has a lot of historical significance there. They've kind of also changed the direction that we'll be going for the cruise. So first off, let me go through it step by step. First off, we were going to be departing on Boston on July 4th at 11 p.m. They have changed it, and this is an amazingly good change. Instead of leaving at 11 p.m., we are going to leave at 9 p.m., and then we're going to stay there in Boston Harbor to watch the fireworks. Much, much better fireworks viewing location than nestled up against that cruise port. It was going to be really hard to see it there, and it sounds like most of the fireworks start between 9:45 and 10 p.m. on the 4th of July. They'll have them going off at different places, but the ones there on the Esplanade, that's the best information that I've been able to gather so far. So we will be sitting there in Boston Harbor. If you are going to go early, you will maybe like to know that at the Long Wharf there in Boston, on July 3rd, they are going to do some fireworks there as well. They did them this year, and I've already found their schedule for next year. So they'll be doing that. They'll be starting to go off next year at 9:15 p.m. Okay, on the 3rd. So that just gives you, if you're in town, it gives you another chance to see fireworks going off. And they are also going to have it so that they've got a lot of historical reenactments. They're going to have concerts and a lot of other activities there because it's called Boston Harbor Fest celebration. So just know that that's part of it. But with leaving at 9 p.m., going out into the harbor there, what a grand place it is going to be to view those fireworks. I am really excited about that. So that's the first day. We leave Boston. Then the second day, we're going to go north. We were going to hit St. John, New Brunswick last, but now it is going to be our first port. So we'll go there first. So on the 5th, we will be there. We're going to get there at 5 p.m. and leave at 10 p.m. That's a really interesting time for me. I'm really hoping they switch that. That is not very long at all, and it's late. It's late. A lot of people like to go to St. John to see those reversing rapids, so I'm hoping they can still run some of those excursions. Luckily, we're in the middle of the summer, so it'll be light late, but I'm not crazy about that change. The next day will be a sea day. Then the following day, July 7th, we are going to be, like I told you, would be visiting Norfolk, Virginia. We're going to get there at 1 in the afternoon, not leave until 11 p.m., which is great, so that you can have a nice long excursion to see everything. And the next day, the day after Norfolk, on the 8th, we're going to pull into New York City. On the original itinerary, we were going to get there like at noon and leave at 5 the next day. With this new itinerary, on the 8th, we're going to get there at 8 p.m. So we'll get there in time that you can either go see a late show, you can go for dinner. That's what I'm thinking. I definitely want to go somewhere for dinner, right? If that's going to be a possibility, we'll just see. Otherwise, the next day we do not leave until 11 p.m. And so people are probably going to have to tweak what some of the things maybe that they were going to do, but just wanted to give you a heads up. At least we'll be there until 11 p.m. so that you can kind of plan everything you want to see and do around that. Following day is a sea day. Next day on the 11th, we are back in Boston. We get in at 7 a.m. And so I would say if you are someone that wants to enjoy the fireworks, all of the celebrations that they have nestled right around July 4th, go a little bit early for that cruise. If you're someone that doesn't mind, you're not really worried about those fireworks on the 3rd or some of the historical reenactments and all of this kind of thing, you might want to stay after. I think it'll be a lot less crowded around town then. It is always busy in Boston in July. It is very much a tourist destination, as well as all of the things that all those universities and colleges draw with what they do there anyway. So just putting that out there. I have seen some hotel reservations start to open up, and so just kind of be thinking about what you want to do so that you can get what you want to get. Okay. Now, let's talk about the Celebrity Infinity here. The Celebrity Infinity is on a Mediterranean cruise, and they went on Monday. They ended up, so their first port of call was Santorini. They got to go there just fine. Monday was their second port of call, and apparently while they were located there, the ship had a small fire. So they have to stay there until Friday, and then they're going to sail back to Athens for disembarkation. So basically, people booked a Mediterranean cruise, and instead of going to all of the places and seeing more of the Mediterranean, they are just going to have seen Santorini and Kusadasi, which Kusadasi there in Turkey is the jumping off point to go to Ephesus. Great place to go visit. And so I don't have details on the guests on board being able to go on other excursions all week. I am sure that you could book some through some of the Viator private tour conductors and go on some tours that way. So I hope they have taken advantage of that, because there is really a lot to see when you go there, and you kind of have to choose what it is that you want to see the most if you just have one day there. So looking at the silver lining, finding that silver lining, it's that you could have more days to see more things from there. When you look, when you're nestled there just at Kusadasi, you can go see more of Turkey as well as the things that are closer. What are they going to give the people that were booked on this cruise? They get to have based on, of course, what you paid, you get to have a 50% refund, so 50% back of what you paid for the cruise, and 50% back as a future cruise credit. And so clearly, you've got, basically 100% back between the future cruise credit and the refund. So the future cruise credit, of course, assures that people will sail with Celebrity again. And so if you happen to have be on that ship, let us know how things are going, would you? And I have not heard anything. I've looked around a lot for updates to see if they have fixed things, if anything is canceled for the next sailing of the Celebrity of Infinity. I've not seen anything announced yet. So let me know if you know anything about that as well. It's such a pleasure to get to be here with you. So thanks for coming. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.